Hello everyone, I am finally back from the dead with some more Scrabble videos. The past few months have been super busy. In November, I was in Accra, Ghana, playing in the World Championship, which was an incredible experience. But after that, I had to come back to the US and finish out my semester in my PhD program. So that was a ton of work. And then the past month, I've been preparing for the Albany New Year's tournament, which I just played in. Unfortunately, that tournament did not go as well as I had hoped. I severely underperformed, but I'm trying not to get too discouraged. I'm just keeping my head down and continuing to work on my game. And in the process, I thought it would be good to start going through my huge backlog of games that I have. So I put all of my games, or pretty much all of them, from Worlds into the computer, but I haven't looked at them super deeply yet. So I thought I would start to do that here. And I wanted to take a look just at one game that I played on my first day, which I thought was kind of educational. So this game was from round 2 of the World Championship. And psychologically, I was a little bit tilted already, because I lost my first game after misdesignating my blank. So I tried to play the bingo of atheists, but I accidentally circled the U instead of the O, so I played it with 2 U's, and from there the game quickly devolved. But I was trying to put that behind me. I was up against Andrew Golding from Canada, an expert level player. And on this first turn, I already made a slight mistake, but it's the kind of mistake that I don't try to beat myself up for because I just didn't know the word. So I have a bingo here of Shalon, which is a shrub, as many bingos are, but I did not find it, so I just played Hala, which I think is a good alternative if I'm not going to see the bingo. He responds with Pentagon. Once again, I miss another bingo that I probably should know, but it's the kind of thing that isn't the end of the world because it opens up so much anyway. So instead, I just opt for a rack balancing play. And here I make a play that's not super ideal. I think I kind of over-evaluate how good the U is with NERS and play YE without thinking too much about the fact that I can play UE, which significantly improves the leave and scores a little bit more. So that's a minor mistake. He comes back with proem. I was a little bit unsure of this word, but I ended up letting it go and not challenging. I figured it seemed word-like enough. And I finally do hit my bingo of stunner, which in retrospect, maybe I should have played runettes. I wasn't as sure of that one, just because stunner sets up this S hook here in the O column, but they score the same. And here was kind of an interesting moment psychologically. So he started to put down metanoia here in this spot, and then he counts up the points and eventually moves it over into this column here for 4 more points. But I am just holding my breath, hoping that he actually commits to this spot instead of this spot, because I have the Q on my rack and I can play it for a ton of points if he puts metanoia in the K column. So I'm keeping my poker face on, and luckily he does end up putting it down in the K column, which gives me Akwe for 72, tying up the game. He plays Ovolai. And here is the first turn where I think I make a really significant mistake. And it's the kind of mistake that I'm noticing that I make against higher rated players, where I just play way too scared and sacrifice too much. So this rack is terrible, except for the fact that I have the S. And I probably should just be thinking about an exchange here. I do have this play of Urbia, which might be worth it, but really I think I probably should just trade down to ES. But instead, I somehow just get so paranoid that he has one of the blanks or one of the other S's, and he's going to bingo down the O column and hit stunners, and I'm going to be behind. And so I make this huge sacrifice to play Ibis here, blocking and leaving EIU, which is a terrible leave. And it kind of felt wrong in the moment, but despite it feeling wrong, I played it. And I'm up a little bit, but only by 13, and now I've given away my S. So I could have held on to it and maybe cashed it in for more later. But okay, he plays Ka. Here I have a few options to balance my rack again. There's this option to play Oogly, but I opt for Liu, I don't know how to say that, which feels a little bit more defensive to me. It seems fine. He plays A8. And here's another moment where I think I maybe make a questionable decision. I noticed this spot down the M column where I can hit the double letter and the double word. And I think, with my J, I can probably hit some things here, like maybe Jaeger if I draw an A, or jibed if I draw B. So I think, okay, well, let's just hold out for that and play my X somewhere. And so I end up playing hexed. But the simulation thinks that this is too much of a sacrifice for something that might not pay off. So it's probably better if I just play Gigi in this spot immediately, just taking my 38 points and keeping the X. That's a word that I wasn't 100% on. So, if I can't see it, maybe I can't play it, but it's just something to think about for the future. Like, it's always fun to make these sort of aspirational plays, but sometimes they are a little bit too unlikely to work out. But in this case, it does work out. He plays goof, and then I do draw into jibed for 46. So I'm up by 40, and I'm feeling pretty good. But then he plays Yves, and this kind of strikes some panic in me, in my past self, because I did not know the hooks to this word. Since this moment, I've really been trying to study my fours and their hooks. But here, I was just not sure if this took an S, if this took an R, an N, a D. And so I was like, oh crap. And things go south afterwards because if I had kind of resisted my bad impulse control, I probably would have seen that I could just play Za here, kind of partially obstructing the hook and scoring a bunch. Or even something like Grood, which opens up more stuff down row 15, but also obscures the hook and scores a bunch and keeps my Z. But instead, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to know if this takes a D. And so I play Zeta for 57 and just try it. And I'm like, okay, well, at least I'll know. And of course, he challenges it off. So I lose the turn. And this is especially bad too because there are 2 blanks and 2 S's on scene and a lot of good stuff in the bag. So I really shouldn't be giving up the chance to draw more tiles out of this good pool. But okay, what can you do? He plays Were here. And I was kind of lucky that he started to put down a second R on this word in row 15, and then he held back and took it away. So this clued me into the fact that Were takes a back R. It's something I knew but maybe wouldn't have noticed in the moment. And lucky for me, I have that R, so I play Grazed for 68. And despite having played a phony, I'm still kind of hanging in there. I'm up 30, but it's a little uncomfortable because we haven't seen the blanks yet, and he could have one of them. And he plays this really great play then of rip, which was what I was saying to myself after he put it down, because this move basically spelled out my death sentence. I was soon resting in peace. This play is so good because it opens up this lane in row 1 that I really, really need to block. I can't let him bingo there. He'll score way too much. But I just don't have the flexibility to do it. And there are other lanes open on the board, like in row 5, maybe even down the B column to the L. And nothing that blocks row 1 is going to also block those spots. But here I think is an educational moment. So I played Oot here. But actually in analyzing this position, I realized that I should have played Nut here instead. Which, okay, it seems like it's not that much of a difference, but I should probably empty the bag. So in situations like this, where, it's likely that he has both blanks, but maybe he only has one, or maybe he has neither. By only playing 2, I'm giving him a chance to fish off one more tile and maybe draw into something if he doesn't have a bingo. But by playing off 3, I'm drawing the rest of what's in the bag. I maybe pull out one of those blanks myself, and he doesn't have a chance to fish. So it's subtle, but it's the kind of thing that I should think about for the future. The conventional wisdom that you should never empty the bag really doesn't always apply once you get to the higher level. But okay, he does have both blanks, and he bingos with critical. And I have awful tiles, so I'm not going to be able to hit back with anything down the A column that will save me. Also, this bingo is just super defensive with the 2 C's in the spots that they're in. So I, funnily enough, play a phony that he lets go of whiffs. There's only Swift in this, but maybe with the blank, he was a little bit blind to the fact that this is not a word. Wafts or South would have been a better option. But anyway, once he lets it go, he goes out with drip and wins by 12 points. By 18 points. So overall, a close game. I'm not too unhappy with it, although, it's always a bummer to play a phony, and I think Ibis was a pretty decisive mistake as well. But that's that. Hopefully I'll have some more games for you in the coming weeks, and thank you as always for watching.